Hi, welcome back to Neighborhood News. Today we're going to be talking about ways that you can have your income taxes done at no cost and also SNAP benefits. I have with me today Kim Barry, the Finance Manager and Social Services Manager from TVCCA. And I also have Heather Laidlaw, who's here as a SNAP benefits counselor for TVCCA as well. This is a little bit of an alphabet soup show because we have so many acronyms here. TVCCA stands for, Kim, can you tell me?
Thames Valley Council for Community Action.
Okay, thank you. So, Kim, I think I'm going to start out by just talking a little bit about VITA,
Sure.
Which, again, another acronym is Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. You've been running this program for how many years?
I think I'm going into my 10th season.
Wow, okay. And can you tell us all a little bit about that?
Sure. The Vita Program is really an IRS program that the TVCCA partners with the IRS to bring Vita to New London County for low to moderate income taxpayers. Our program has grown over the last 13 years, and we are currently servicing 5 Vita sites, 6 days a week in New London County.
Okay, and so the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center is one of those sites.
They are.
And next Thursday, you're starting
We are.
your first tax prep. It is from 5 to 9 on Thursday evenings, which is good for working people.
It is.
And right now, we actually have on the screen the places where the other sites are. Do you just want to tell us, Kim?
Sure. Like I said, we have 5 sites in New London County that offer tax preparation assistance 6 days a week. So we are in New London on Mondays and Fridays in our New London Huntington Street location of the TVCCA, and those are both evening appointments and daytime appointments. And then we go up on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're up in the Norwich area. We're at Otis Public Library for daytime appointments on Wednesdays. And on Tuesday evenings, we're at our TVCCA Uncas on the Thames location. And then on Wednesdays, we're also at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Mystic. We're offering daytime appointments there. And then on Thursdays, we go down to the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center for evening appointments. And then on Saturdays, we offer appointments every Saturday during the tax season at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Mystic as well.
So that's great. People have an opportunity to go to any of these sites, some in the day, some in the evening. Are there any other qualifications in order to have your taxes prepared?
There are, Susan. The Vita Tax Program is really a program to assist low to moderate income taxpayers to have their taxes done for free through the TVCCA. So this is a free service, and we really concentrate on doing fairly simple tax returns that the IRS realized many years ago that people were paying to have done.
Right.
So this is for a taxpayer that may not have access to a computer or a printer or have the wherewithal to do their taxes.
Right.
And we have trained volunteers through the IRS trained volunteers through the TVCCA that will prepare taxes for them and electronically file their federal and state returns.
So what happens is someone would come after they've enrolled. They would have an appointment, I would imagine.
It is all by appointment. Yes.
Okay. How would they make their appointment?
Last year, we started a great partnership with United Way 211.
Right.
So folks can go right to the United Way 211 website, which I don't see it on the screen now, but it is, let me put my glasses on, and I'll share that. They can go to www.211ct.org if they'd like to schedule their appointment themselves via the website. Or if they prefer doing it over the phone, they would simply dial 211. And once they dial 211, they want to follow the prompts. And the prompt is dial 211, hit 3, and then hit 6. And you'll be connected to a person that at 211 that will schedule your Vita appointment. And you can do either one of these 24/7. That's what I really want to stress.
Okay.
211 is open 24/7.
Well, and a lot of people who are watching may never have heard about 211. As you said, 211 is a United Way site, and it's actually either the website or just by dialing 211, you can get a wealth of information.
You sure can.
From how do I have my taxes prepared, SNAP benefits, child care. If you're having an issue with homelessness, I just wanted to kind of get into
Sure.
some of the 2-in-1 programs. But today on this show, we're just talking about volunteer income tax assistance. And so you can either call 2-in-1 or you can go on their website and you can make an appointment to have your taxes done. When someone calls to enroll, will they ask? Will they be asked if they qualify as far as the financial piece goes?
Yes, they'll
Okay.
be asked some qualifying questions.
Okay, so they'll know.
They will.
So the person has an appointment, and how will they know what to bring to the appointment?
They will either see it on our TVCCA website, first of all.
Okay.
And the flyer that they're seeing right
here we
now
go.
on TV, it's right up here, but it's on our website. And when they do make their appointment, they will get a reminder with a text message or an email that will review all these documents as well.
Oh, perfect.
So,
Okay.
very important, we obviously need photo ID and social security cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the, general information that you would need to have your taxes done.
Right.
And then any other additional information that pertains to your family, like things like daycare, a record of daycare expenses. We see a lot of that. And we see a lot of families that have children in college.
Yes.
And if that's the case, we really want them to be able to bring in that college document called a 1098-T
Okay.
that reviews the student's expenses, and in many cases that can result in tax credits for the family.
Okay. And I also see Se Habla Español. So you have volunteers who speak Spanish.
We certainly do.
That's wonderful. Is that at all the sites or?
It is not necessarily at all the sites.
Okay.
It is mostly in our New London location.
Okay.
But we do have, if we know that there are taxpayers that are going to need Spanish assistance, we try to coordinate that we have a Spanish-speaking volunteer at that site.
Okay, so when you come and you have your tax prepared, will the person leave with the document, or what will happen at the end of the appointment?
Yep. When the appointment's finished up, the taxpayer will leave with a copy of their federal and their state tax return.
Okay.
And if at all possible, we will electronically file. That's the idea. Sometimes there's an exception to every rule. We might
Right.
need to paper file, but the idea is that when they leave that appointment, their tax return will be electronically filed on both the federal and state level, and they'll have copies of everything.
That's fantastic. And I know that there are plenty of people out there who don't know about this program, who are learning about it for the first time, but I know that more than 1,000 tax preparations were prepared by TVCCA last year.
Yes, and that's very true. Every year our program is growing and growing. The word gets out there. We opened up our scheduling through 2-in-1, I believe on January 7th or 8th, Heather, something like that.
Yeah.
And already most of our sites are booked through February. So for folks that are listening who haven't made their tax appointment, I would strongly suggest, even if you have not received your tax documents yet,
right.
do not wait.
Okay.
Schedule your appointment.
So if you're booked until February, how long are you running?
We will run through basically the end of the tax season. So our last tax site is open on April 14th. So we're
Okay.
going right to the
That's
end.
perfect.
Yes.
That's great. Now, the other piece, I know you did more than 1,000 tax preparations, but that was through 2,000 hours of volunteer hours.
Correct.
So could you tell me, do you ever need any more volunteers to help with?
We certainly do. We're very fortunate in our program that we have volunteers that come back year after year. I've been with the program for 10 years now, and we have volunteers that have been doing it longer than I have.
Wow.
So we're very lucky. But then, people might volunteer for a couple of years and then look for another volunteer opportunity.
Right.
So this year, I think we've added 3 or 4 new volunteers.
Do you have to be a CPA to be a volunteer?
No, you do not need to be a CPA to be a volunteer, because CPAs, for the most part, could never do our program because they're so busy, during tax
Right,
season.
exactly.
We do have one CPA that
Seriously?
we really do. We
Wow.
do, and we really rely on
Wow.
him quite a bit for
Yeah.
any of our more
Sure.
complicated taxes. No, we have people, Susan, from all walks of life. We have over 40 volunteers right now on our team, and some of them are retired, but most of them are not retired, and they work full time and then come and work at our site in the evening. So you don't need to have necessarily a tax background at all. You just need to work with people one-on-one. Maybe when we ask our volunteers, what keeps you coming back? Right. They like doing taxes. They really do, and they like to see something from start to finish.
Really, right.
To get started, finish it,
right.
and see a taxpayer leave satisfied.
Right. Right. Well, and I also think that when you have a particular knowledge, like the ability to do a tax return, a lot of people want to share that.
They do.
Because that's stressful to a lot of people. Not only the cost, but also, I would imagine, there's quite a bit of education learning how to do this. How do your volunteers learn?
The IRS provides our volunteers and our agency with a plethora of resources.
Okay.
So most of our volunteers do their study and their certification online.
Okay.
Through the IRS.gov website.
Okay.
And that's, then they're supported with paper documents, resource guides, and things of that nature. And then the TVCCA puts on a training and kickoff. And that's pretty much to cement everything they've learned and to kick off the season. Really, the volunteers are doing a lot of their training remotely and independently, and I give them a lot of credit for doing what they do.
And if anyone is interested in volunteering, how could they sign up?
Oftentimes we get volunteers that go right through the IRS.gov website to show that they're, for interest. But if you have volunteer folks that are watching today and say, geez, I'd really like to get, involved in this program, they can certainly reach out to me.
Okay.
And I believe my information is right at the bottom of the screen there.
Okay, Kim Barry at TVCCA, and there's your phone number. Okay, great. So now, Heather, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your new role. I know you've been with TVCCA in different roles before. I believe you were a Vita volunteer yourself. Is that right?
I still am. Yes.
Wow. Okay. And now your new role is
a SNAP outreach case manager.
And now, are you happy that after having this job for a few weeks, you're already on TV to talk about it?
I'm thrilled.
It takes a lot of guts to come on this show. I appreciate you coming on, Heather. First of all, okay, SNAP is Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, I believe. Is that right?
Yep.
Am I right?
Formerly known as food stamps.
Formerly known as food stamps,
commonly
right?
known.
Commonly, yes, right. And so I'm very pleased to say that you will be coming to the PNC starting in February every other Wednesday. And what will you be doing for us there?
I will be taking SNAP applications for either first-time applicants or those who have had services in the past but have had a significant lapse in benefits.
Okay. Now, I happen to know that with the person who you're replacing, she was full. She had constant appointments. Excuse me. I think that's because a lot of folks don't quite know how to fill out the application. How would that work? Do you have a computer there? Or?
Yeah, I have a laptop, a printer, scanner, and I would do a online pre-screening to make sure the applicant was qualifying. Do the online application, which is a little time-consuming, but not difficult. They would bring the required documents with them, which I would scan and upload and submit.
I think that we may have that we can put up later, but the documents that you need are basically the financial documents that anyone would need to show their income. And excuse me, I have a cough, but what's the minimum income to apply?
Basically, it's 185% of the federal poverty level. That's for gross income, and then the DSS has a formula by which they calculate your net income by making certain deductions, particularly with your shelter expenses, rent, utilities, dependent care expenses, child support payments, and sometimes medical expenses are deducted to calculate your income.
And I noticed by what you brought me that you can apply for SNAP benefits if you are not a U.S. resident but are here legally. Can you explain that a little bit?
U.S. citizens and legal immigrants who have had residency for 5 years qualify to apply for SNAP. And non-citizens, if they have children who are born in the U.S., may apply on behalf of their children.
I think that's really important to note because folks who are listening, if they're not a legal resident but their children are, they should know that they can come and apply for SNAP benefits, correct? You
Definitely.
also gave me some great information. I think we have it a little bit that Frank might be able to put up, but that let me put my glasses on too. I believe it's 55% of SNAP participants are in families with children. Almost 40% are in families with members who are elderly or have disabilities, and more than 43% are working families. So basically, half of the people are working families, and this just helps to give them a little bit of assistance in getting food, which is basically our primary need, right? So I believe that SNAP benefits, you can use your SNAP card at most major retailers. Can you use it anywhere else?
Yes, many ethnic food stores, many convenience stores, some farmers markets, farm stands, and CSAs, community shared agricultures, even accept SNAP, EBT.
Can you explain what a CSA is?
It stands for community shared agriculture. It's like oftentimes a box from that you would pick up from a farm, maybe weekly or monthly, of fresh vegetables or whatever whatever they have in season, often.
Okay, so I think what you're saying is similar to like the PNC. Often we ask folks to bring canned goods, and people, the general public, tend to assume that when you're giving out food, it's just things like macaroni and cheese and soup. But in reality, that's not what people eat. People eat salad and fresh fruit and bread. And that's really what we give out at the PNC. And that's what people who are getting SNAP benefits need as well, right? And so it's wonderful that they're able to go to a local farm and get fresh vegetables or the farmer's market. Or if you're if you like Indian food or Asian food, you're able to go to a market that would be selling food that you're interested in eating and that you're used to eating, and especially your children, because I think that the whole purpose of SNAP benefits and our food pantry is to keep people healthy. We're very proud of our community garden, for example, where we grow our food to give directly to the participants of the food pantry. So another piece of information that you gave me as well is that in Connecticut alone, 168,000 households are receiving SNAP benefits, and in New London County, more than 3,500 families are receiving SNAP benefits. So it's a significant amount, and I really want to thank you, Heather, and workers like you who help people to be able to access this benefit. Is very important. Now, if someone doesn't come and see a SNAP benefits counselor, would they be able to apply for SNAP on their own?
Yes, one can apply in person by going to the Department of Social Services in Norwich,
Okay.
Or online at connect.ct.gov.
Okay.
Or through a paper application through the mail.
Okay, great. And I wanted to circle back, Kim, as a TVCCA manager. I know that we've talked today about Vita and about SNAP benefits. I had Gina King on the show earlier, and she talked about the Veterans Coffee Hour and Meals on Wheels. You all, your agency does great work. Could you tell us some of the other programs that your agency does?
Sure. I think many of the viewers may be familiar with TVCCA because of our heating assistance program. So we're a main provider in New London County for heating assistance, and we work with agencies such as the PNC, local community towns that also provide the heating assistance to the TVCCA, or people can come to our locations in New London, in Norwich for energy appointments, and we go out, and provide energy assistance on site to a lot of elderly housing complexes and things of that nature. I think last year we provided energy assistance to over 9,000 households in New London County.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a big program at the agency. But the agency has 6 major programs, and it really spans from working with families with children that are prenatal to 5 years old, and that's our WIC program.
Yeah.
To early childhood education. That's our largest program at the agency, and that involves Head Start, and our Little Learners program falls under that. And we have centers in Norwich and New London. We also work in the schools. It's a great program. And then we span and we work with seniors. Whether it be seniors at our Veterans Coffee Houses or seniors through our Meals on Wheels program, which is our senior nutrition program that I believe works at the PNC.
Yes.
Right. Then we have a whole housing program at the TVCCA. Housing is a real, whether it be your basic needs like food and shelter. Housing is a real need in affordable housing in New London County. And we have a large housing group at the agency, as well as we have the employment and education group that's over at our American Job Center in Montville. So we really have so many programs to support our New London residents, whether they're trying to get back to work, trying to get back, stabilize their families, or they're just families that really find it difficult to keep their heads above water.
Right.
In Connecticut. We're an expensive state to live with high utility and energy costs.
Right. So we're almost out of time, and I like to always conclude my show by asking my guests what got them into the area of social work and how that has affected your life at all. So I'm going to start with you, Kim.
Oh, okay. Well,
Big question.
I think I'm on my I'm right around my 10-year anniversary at TVCCA. And I really came to TVCCA after working in the corporate world for like 18 years, and I had an opportunity to make a change. It's been a really great fit for me. I'm able to bring some of my business and financial skills and my real passion for community, kind of bring that together and work at an agency that really tries to make a real difference in people's lives.
Right.
And they do make a difference.
They do make a difference.
They do.
They do. They really do. And what about you, Heather?
I've always been drawn to the helping professions. My background is mainly in childcare and education, but as my children grew older, I branched out a little, tried different things, had a couple of temporary positions with other TVCCA programs, energy assistance and Vita. Meanwhile, I had developed an interest in edible gardening, mainly to feed my family, and a couple of years ago served with the Connecticut Food Justice Vista Project.
Wow.
And I found that the food systems work suited me very well.
Right.
It was very rewarding.
So this is a great fit for you.
Yes.
And another not very well-known fact, but will be now, is that you're Spanish speaking, correct? So will you be able to speak to clients that come in Spanish as well as English?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's great.
It is.
Yeah, well, they're very lucky to have you. So welcome aboard, Heather. And Kim, thank you for all that you've done for the PNC over the last few years.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Our pleasure.
This is the end of our Neighborhood News. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Perfect.